The starting point for the work in my exhibition was actually a series of failed paintings which I had left discarded, experiments which hadn't worked. They were the starting point for work. The drawings that I had, I decided I wanted to do something with them. It's a process that I've done a lot before, where work has evolved over sometimes many years. Work has taken shape, changed through layering, and meanings are sometimes changed in time as well. The meaning of the work will alter and change. And it's a process that I'm really interested in. I actually quite like the idea of taking something which hasn't worked and changing the meaning of that work and taking it into new areas. But sometimes actually keeping elements of the old work within the new. In this work here, you will see images that are multi-layered. What I've actually done is taken, in this case here, one large paper image that I did, which was a landscape image, a fairly formal landscape image, which I then cut up into squares, equal-sized squares. At that point, I didn't really know what was going to happen. I just knew I wanted to alter these images and create new meanings. So the process started kind of in a blind kind of way, where I didn't know where this was going to take me. What happens in my work, often through journeys and walks, experiences, the things that I see, the things that I take photographs of or experience will find themselves in the work. And in this case, what happened was on one occasion I went for a walk down Ballspond Road, which is a local road around here near Bilston, and there was a church, and on the church was an image of Christ, and the light cast a shadow on Christ, and I was quite interested in the shadow. And Christ actually looked like, in this image, it looked like, because of the shadow, it looked like he was holding a gun out in front of him. And I was intrigued by this image, and I didn't know what to make of it. I just thought it was an interesting accident of where the sun was at that time, the angle, and this image of Christ. But it created an image which stuck in my mind, and it was at that point that this series of work took shape. Before that, they were fairly abstract, anonymous pieces of work, or fragments of experiments. Then suddenly I realised I had this strong element, local element, which I really liked. So I made stencils from the photograph of Christ, and then put this into the work. But there are lots of other elements which have fed into this work as well. There's also the image of a media image of a girl jumping from a building. This photograph was taken during the time of the London riots. And she's falling from a burning building. So I was interested in the idea of, or if you like, the dialogue between the woman falling and Christ somehow rising up. And there were these, I'm not quite sure what I was interested in there, but there was some sort of dialogue about rising up and falling down that I was interested in. And it was through these various experiences that this work took shape. I also saw a piece of work in the National Gallery of a Tudor portrait, which I was quite interested in. Catherine Parr, I think the lady who was in the picture. And there was something about the darkness of the tones and the gold glinting in the light, which made me want to use gold in my work. It sort of came through in my work. So there's various sources that have come through. There's no one meaning in particular in this work. It comes from various places, and the work takes on meaning as it evolves, and that's kind of how I like to work.